to my channel. Today we're going to play around with OHUHU markers. Are you excited? I am. Well, what you can expect from today's video? First of all, I'm going to unpack them. I will make swatches of all the colors in my set. I will try to test them in different techniques and with different paper. And after all, I will share my honest opinion about these markers. I have OHUHU, I'm not sure if I pronounced it correct, set with 100 colors and with fine and chisel tips. So let's unpack it first. The markers arrived in a high-quality case, which was a nice touch. Inside, besides the markers themselves, of course, there was a special pad to prevent bleed-through. By the way, I personally never used this pad. I prefer using a thick sheet of paper instead. I think it's more convenient. A brochure with information about different series and products, and most importantly, swatching sheets. An important note, this video is not sponsored by OHUHU, they just sent me markers to test and to share my honest opinion about them. That is what I'm going to do right now. But at the same time, I want to be 100% honest with you, and I need to say that I'm a big fan of this brand, and before they reached out to me with a collaboration offer, I already had a set from this brand from Honolulu series, and these brushes have these markers have a brush tip and a fine tip, and I'm a huge fan of brush tips. And in this review, it's going to be pretty interesting to test the difference between brush tip and chisel one. By the way, funny story, first time I saw an email with the collaboration offer from them in my email, I think I ignored this email for days because I was sure that it's some sort of promotional spam or something like this, because relatively recently I bought this set from their website and I was like, this goes to trash. And thankfully, at some point I noticed that actually it is a collaboration offer, and I was super happy to receive it. This set includes 100 colors, which is fantastic for creating diverse color palettes. Swatching is such a relaxing and exciting process, like, I don't know, a first date with new materials. It's also a very important thing, because the colors on the caps can be quite misleading. They often can look different on paper, so relying on the caps alone isn't a good idea. I always keep these swatch sheets in front of me while coloring or sketching. It is very helpful. Plus, having a full view of all the colors laid out in front of you can spark new ideas and combinations you might not have considered otherwise. It's like having a painter's palette, but for markers. One challenge I faced during swatching was finding the right colors. As the markers were initially sorted in the case in a very random way, I ended up organizing them myself by some sort of color family: yellows, red, pinks, blues, greens, which I highly recommend for easier usage in the future. I decided to make several swatches, mostly line swatches, to compare the chisel and brush tips. The chisel tip takes some getting used to. It's firmer than the brush tip and requires some adaptation in how you rotate it to achieve the desired line. However, once you get the hang of it, it seems easier to control line thickness. I believe this firmness can be a plus when you need a precision in your work, giving you sharp, clean lines that stand out, especially, I don't know, probably in more graphic styles. I didn't test color gradients as I rarely use them with markers, but I suspect the chisel tip might be not very good for smooth blending compared to the brush tip. The brush tip feels softer and it's easier to work with as it offers smoother coverage. However, it's more sensitive, so hand pressure is crucial when using it. All in all, what can I say? Both chips are pretty flexible and work great depending on your style and your preferences. For sharp graphic lines, the chisel tip is better, I guess. For smoother lines and shading, the brush tip is the way to go. If you're not for the first time on my channel, you probably know that I'm a huge fan of color, and markers are a great tool for playing around with various color palettes. With a wide range of colors in the set I'm testing, I have plenty of room for color exploration. So let's create some palettes together. Now it's time to test the markers in a sketchbook. I will see if the chisel tip is convenient for sketching, because it's going to be my first time. My technique is pretty simple. I mainly look for vibrant color and smooth coverage without obvious streaks or semi-transparent areas. I started with a quick orange tree sketch and filled it with color. Initially, it was a bit tricky to get used to the firm chisel tip, and I noticed it while swatching, so it was not a surprise for me. But once I adapted, I found it pretty convenient for covering both large and small areas without needing to switch to a finer tip. This video is sponsored by my Patreon. Here are some things you can find there. Color exploration posts for your inspiration, tutorials, my textured brush set for Procreate, long process videos, digital art prints, exclusive sketches, and more. I would be happy to see in my tiny creative community. There's no pressure, of course. Thank you so much for your attention, and now let's get back to the video. One thing I particularly love about OHUHU markers is their smooth coverage. They don't dry too quickly, allowing for smooth application. I believe this gives you a bit of extra time to work with the pigment, to work with the ink, and it's good for coloring without extra rushing. Besides the markers, OHUHU sent me a set of gel pens, white, gold and silver, and liners, which I decided to test in my sketchbook as well. The white pen provided excellent coverage and it dries pretty quickly, which was great for adding details to the orange leaves. I also tested the liners. At first, I decided to swatch them to understand what are the sizes of these actual sizes of these liners, and it helped me to decide which size I'm going to use in my sketches. I went with a 0.7 pen for the black outline, and then I decided to fill it with markers. decided to add some silver elements with a silver pen from another set for, I don't know, extra magic. By the way, all the products I used in this video are linked in the description below. Don't forget to use my unique code Flaming Garden for a 10% discount on the OHUHU website. One more time, all the links are below the video. Another delightful use of markers is for coloring. In this video I used my coloring book, Whimsical Pages, which is available on Amazon, by the way. I originally drew these pages with a black marker on paper, scanned them and turned them into a book. I believe it's my favorite coloring book so far because of its charming imperfections. Amazon coloring books use very thin paper, so you need to keep that in mind. And it is very crucial to place a sheet underneath the page you're coloring to prevent bleed through. Markers work pretty well on this thin paper, providing smooth coverage and bright colors. However, there is one thing I need to warn you about. You need to color quickly. Holding the marker in one spot for too long can cause the pigment to spread too much and go outside the lines. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm a huge fan of this brand and I love their markers, and it's kinda no surprise that I can highly recommend them to you. It's definitely a reliable tool for various artistic needs. Although I had pure fun exploring the Oahu series with chisel tips, I believe my heart truly belongs to the Honolulu series with brush tips. I don't know, they just feel a bit more intuitive to me. But of course, all in all, it comes down to your personal style, purposes, your preferences, etc. In any case, you can be sure of one thing. You will get super smooth coverage with vibrant and beautiful colors. That is something I value a lot personally. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and to subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye bye.